Thank you for joining us today on our webinar. You have joined Somerford Associates and NetClean. I'm Penny Harrison. I'm from Somerford, and with me today I've got Daniel, Emma and Thomas, who will introduce themselves as they do their presentations. Just wanted to say quickly, NetClean is all about helping organisations to mitigate risks by limiting access to child sexual abuse material. And today they're going to talk through what the product can do and how it can help organisations. They have a partnership with Splunk, and the NetClean technology is now available within the enterprise security module, and the team will talk about that further today. And we as Somerford, we're an elite partner with Splunk, and we provide end-to-end services with our security cleared consultants, and we're working closely with NetClean. And we're really happy to have them here today, and they'll be able to provide us all with an overview of their capabilities. So really over to you now, the NetClean team. Daniel, are you ready to go?
Yes, thanks Penny for the nice introduction. I'm ready to go. I'm Daniel Sundler. I'm a partner sales executive here at NetClean. I've been here now for 3.5 years almost. I'm focusing on UK and I from our side. And I will start this by giving you a short intro to NetClean as a company, talk about what we do, also touch briefly on the problem with the child sexual abuse material. And of course, since the topic is the corporate risk of child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, which is the short for it, that will be the main part of it. And after me, I will hand over to my lovely colleagues, Emma and Thomas, who will give you a more technical walkthrough of our solutions. I will start with a quote, actually. All information has value to someone. Try to understand the mindset of a criminal. We know that 1 in 500 work computers are being used for the consumption of child sexual abuse material. From the perspective of a criminal or blackmailer, these are good odds. If they can identify a child sexual abuse consumer in your organization, you've got a big problem. These are facts, not opinions. The threat exists, whether we like it or not. So, NetClean have a unique security solution with a very specific purpose. We detect and stop child sexual abuse material on corporate IT devices. We have solutions for computers, mobile devices, and for the cloud. NetClean's products are a natural part of the cybersecurity ecosystem and a given solution for companies, organizations, and partners worldwide, utilized on all work IT devices. And NetClean is perceived as a change maker, creating a systemic impact on society. So that's the vision of NetClean. So what we do is basically that we provide ethical and sustainable businesses with solutions that protect their IT environment and their brand, enhance their resilience, and give them the means to take clear actions to improve society, because this comes with a higher purpose. This is not only a security solution like any other, this is something more, because in the end, it is about rescuing children and provide them with a brighter future. So we use one-of-a-kind technology for one-of-a-kind purpose. And this is essentially tech for good in a nutshell, if you like. People, of course, know that the problem with child sexual abuse material is out there in the society, but most people don't know how complex it is, how widespread it is, and definitely not how it relates to the business and the workplace. And as I said in the quote in the beginning, according to statistics, 1 in 500 employees use their work computer to handle child sexual abuse material. And there are several business critical risks connected to this behavior, such as cyber attacks and so on. And anyone using or sharing child sexual abuse material takes risks in a way a normal person wouldn't. And this type of content isn't found on the internet as most of us know it. It is found on the dark web and other ambiguous places. 1 in 500 is a surprisingly high number, I would say. At least that's what I thought the first time I heard it when I joined NetClean. But an even more disturbing number is the fact that at least 50% of the ones just viewing this kind of images are also committing physical abuse themselves. And there are, of course, reasons for that. The main reason is that these people operate on closed societies on the dark web. And in order to, first of all, get entry there, and then also climb the very strict hierarchies, they need to prove that they have access to children of their own and that they can provide self-produced material. And you might think that, why is someone so stupid to use their work computer? But you need to know also that this is an addiction like any other, like drugs or alcohol and so on, and these people cannot help themselves. And also, the reason why the work computer is used is because that is considered the most private computer these people have. I mean, you don't share your work password or login with anyone else in the family, for instance. You keep it to yourself. You have constant access to your work computer. We also know that most alarms are being triggered when the employee is outside of the physical workplace. So during evenings, weekends, work trips, and holidays. Typically sitting in a hotel room, disconnecting from the Wi-Fi, plugging in a USB stick or similar to get access to their collection. That is how it usually goes. This is a problem that exists in all areas of society, family structures, and workplaces. This is nothing that you can see from the outside who this person is. What we do know is that this is predominantly a male problem, but that's basically it. It can be basically anyone. And since the workplace is a reflection of the society, the problem with child sexual abuse material will most likely also exist within companies and organizations as well. You can be quite sure about that. And there are, of course, many numbers and facts about this problem and around this problem, and we are not going to dig deeply into this. But what you need to know is that this is much, much worse than you probably can imagine. The children are young. The majority is under 10 years old. The perpetrator is in most cases someone within the child's circle of trust, so someone they know well. Parents, extended family, relatives, coaches, or teacher, etc. The technology of today is, of course, facilitating the production, the storage, and the distribution of this problem. But it is also thanks to the technology that companies using our solution can detect the material and in the end also make a real-world impact and create a brighter future for children. This is a problem that far too few companies choose to address for different reasons. And the main reason is actually that they're not aware of this problem. I mean, why should I focus on a problem that I don't know I have? That is a relevant question. And as I said, most of the people know that the problem exists, but they don't see how it relates to the workplace. Some people don't want to hear about this at all. They just stick their head into the sand and they simply rely on their employees' good behavior. And they lean on internal policies, code of conduct, etc. However, leading security experts agree that the biggest threat to the companies of today is not the outside threat. It is the individual. It's the person behind the keyboard. So the employee, the inside out threat. That's where you want to focus. That's where we operate with our solutions, trying to fill the security gap that we see today. And as I said, many companies rely on their employees' good behavior and lean on internal policies, etc. And also web filters and blocking solutions are many times seen as a good enough of a protection, when instead it should be seen as a complement to detection. And many companies believe that a web filter is taking care of this problem. But as I said earlier, this material is not found on the open internet. It is found on other places and consumed in other places. A web filter blocks access to certain web pages known to contain illegal child sexual abuse material, but that's it. You might get a pop-up window saying that, hey, you're about to visiting a website containing illegal material. Please contact the police for further information. Not many do that. And in best case, there will be a second pop-up window saying that, hey, you seem to be having problem with your sexuality, please contact our helpline to get help. And some actually do that, and that is a good thing, of course. But this is important. The main and most important difference between web filters and detection that we work with also is that detection actually allow the police to act and follow through on each alert, meaning that they can find the perpetrator, but most importantly, they can find and rescue the children. And people using corporate devices to access child sexual material, they have a risky behavior, and they are huge risk factors for the company they work for many reasons. The simple fact is that a person using or downloading this kind of material are putting themselves at risk, and they are extremely vulnerable to blackmail, for instance. So visiting the dark web or any site where child sexual abuse material is found leaves a digital trail that a criminal or hacker can quite easily detect. Once they've done this, they possess information that is extremely damaging because they can be used as leverage for extortion. So imagine someone finding out that a person within a company, maybe a high-ranking person, is in possession of sensitive or maybe even secret company information, is consuming child sexual abuse material. Well, that is potentially a disaster situation for the company. And people with this kind of risky behavior is also likely to be involved in other unethical or illicit activities. Regardless, this is people that you don't want to have in your organization whatsoever. And lastly here, anonymization is a driving factor for these people. I mean, they want to stay hidden at all costs. They want to keep this a secret. So the large-scale shift to remote working has increased the risks, but also uncovered new cracks in businesses' protection. And this is, of course, due to the pandemic and the fact that we no longer are just working in the physical workplace. We are working hybridly from home or from other places. And this new way of working is most likely here to stay, because most people say that they want to continue working like this now, even after the pandemic. So this means that company CISOs and similar, they are facing a busy and challenging time going forward, that's for sure. Yeah, about a year ago, we conducted a survey assessing child sexual abuse material and the IT industry. We interviewed more than 1,000 IT professionals from 5 different markets, including the UK. And we have put together a short video with some of the highlights, and the full report is available to download or to look at on our website, netclean.com. But here you will have the video with some of the highlights.
We spoke to more than 1,000 senior global IT professionals in 5 markets: United States, United Kingdom, Sweden, Belgium, and the Netherlands. So what did we learn? The industry remains profoundly unprotected against child sexual abuse material. Child sexual abuse material is present in almost 2 in 3 businesses. 64% of the organizations had an incident in the past 5 years. Professionals in the industry know it's a problem. 87% had heard about the threat it poses. But even they underestimate the scale of the problem. 70% estimated that child sexual abuse material was present on fewer devices than research shows. A majority of senior IT professionals believe that the problem will get worse, not better, in the coming year. Is URL filtering enough of a response? 73% said it isn't. 90% said that they're considering specific protection against child sexual abuse material to address the issue. The purpose-driven case for tackling child sexual abuse material remains strong, and the majority is willing to take action to keep it off company assets and help stop child sexual abuse crime to create a brighter future for children.
And again, visit netclean.com to read the full report, and also some of our older NetClean reports, where you can find a lot of valuable insights and information about this problem. There are, of course, several reasons as to why companies and organizations should focus and address this problem, besides the obvious one, to assist law enforcement and to help safeguarding children. And it is about identifying illegal activity and prevent crime from happening in the workplace, because this is illegal in most countries. And you don't want to have that in your workplace, of course. As we talked about, it is about reducing the risks to the IT security, but also to the brand reputation of the business, because a discovery of a disclosure of this kind could hurt the company tremendously. And by implementing NetClean solutions, you can show that you have been acting proactively and done what you can to prevent this, at least. And that is, in most cases, seen positively in the public opinion. And it is also about being a good employer. So it's an employer branding perspective to this as well. Not only is this a serious crime, it is also a breach of policies. So it is about adhering to legislation and comply with internal policies and codes of conduct. And most companies and organizations of today, they want to act as an ethical corporate citizen. They want to take corporate social responsibility in everything that they do. And by implementing NetClean Impact, our solutions, that is a concrete and tangible way to act and comply with the UN Sustainable Development Goals as well. And then specifically 16.2, which talks about stopping all kind of violence and exploitation against children. So this touches on many, many different parts of the company. This was all from me. Hopefully you have got a good picture of NetClean as a company and what we do, and a better understanding about the problem, and also what risks these people are posing to the company. So now I will hand over to Emma, who will give you, as I said, a more technical walkthrough of our solutions. And again, feel free to reach out and write any question that you might have in the chat. Over to you, Emma.
Thank you, Daniel. So my name is Emma Rosell, and I'm CTO at NetClean. This means that I'm responsible for our product development and engineering organization. So as Daniel said before, the NetClean products protect company IT environments from child sexual abuse material. And we are doing this by detecting and blocking material that is already classified as illegal by law enforcement agencies. Our detection is based on hashing technology, which means that we are using hash values, and those values could be described like a digital fingerprint for the file. So every file has its unique ID. So when law enforcement investigates a child sexual abuse case, they will come across a large amount of material. What they will do then is that they will categorize these files and then provide us at NetClean with the hash values for the files containing child sexual abuse material. We will then use these hash values to find images in our customers' IT environments. By using this approach, we are ensuring that our customers will never need to look at the actual material. A really common question from our customers is, will you detect on, for example, my vacation pictures of my children playing on the beach? And the answer is no. By using this hashing technology, we will not do that, since those pictures are not classified as illegal. Our products, they provide a broad protection coverage, including all the major computer operating systems, so of course Windows, but also macOS and Linux. We are also protecting the Microsoft 365 cloud environment with OneDrive and SharePoint and mobile phones. Our products are designed to run in the background and they are optimized to have minimal performance impacts on the IT environment. To go a bit deeper into the product, we will now watch a short video about the detection part, NetClean ProActive.
NetClean ProActive is powerful, scalable software that detects child sexual abuse material as classified by law enforcement. Produced for work IT environments, it detects illegal images and videos instead of blocking entire web pages. It is unique on the market and used by enterprises across the world. ProActive is an always-on software that runs in the background and provides real-time detection. It consists of a centrally managed part and locally installed agents. Each agent holds a local database with unique signatures for illegal files. When child sexual abuse material is detected, designated persons within the organization are notified. They can then retrieve essential information without being exposed to the material. This vital information can serve as evidence in further investigations. NetClean ProActive enhances your resilience and reduces risks to your IT security by helping you identify persons with a behavior that could expose your business to threats. Having ProActive installed makes a systemic impact and contributes to reducing real-world harm to children. NetClean, protect what matters.
Great. So let's have a look at the workflow of our product offering. So as I said before, we are provided with hash values and URLs known to contain child sexual abuse material from our trusted sources. We are then using our management components to distribute these hash values and URLs to the devices in our customers' environment. For the detection part, it is performed on file level on the device by our agents. So this means that every time something happens with a file, it could be that you open it or copy it or, for example, delete it. We will calculate the hash for the file and we will compare it to our signature database. If we will have a match, our product will trigger an incident that will go to designated persons in our customers' organizations, often someone in the security team. When this has happened, the product can also perform a broader scan, where we, for example, can scan for more material in nearby files. And we can also use another algorithm to find images that has been slightly changed, so like resized or cropped or made black and white. When it comes to the investigation part, we have built-in functionality to export incident details for police investigations. And to facilitate efficient further investigations, we also have made integrations to other security platforms. I think Penny talked a bit about this in the beginning. So for example, Splunk Enterprise Security and VMware Carbon Black. To simplify the device management, we also have integrations to device management systems. So that was actually all for me. So thank you, and over to Thomas and the product demo.
My name is Thomas, and I'm working as a product owner at NetClean Technologies, and I'm here to give you a demo of our product, NetClean ProActive, which is the detection part of NetClean Impact. First, we'll take a quick look at the overview of the system and the agents, and then we'll do a deeper dive into the response when CSAM has been detected on a machine in the IT environment. The first view will be an oversight of the system. Here we can see the amount of agents installed, some information about the server, system messages, and other network information that might be good for the user to see. In this demo, I've also used the user with full access to everything. Normally, you would have an IT administrator that has access to the agents and an incident investigator with access to the incident information. In the agents view, we can get an overview of the installed agents in the system. And normally it's used for trying to find errors if agents stop reporting or having other issues. And let's go over to the incident flow. Normally, when an incident occurs in the IT system, the dedicated persons within the environment will get a notification, either through SMS or an email, depending on the setup in the system. The incident handler can then log into the system and go and watch what has happened on the system regarding CSAM incidents. The first thing we see here is an overview on what computers have, where they have been detected CSAM material. Normally, there shouldn't be any there, but unfortunately there are, and it can contain more computers here as well. In this demo environment, we kept it down to just one computer. And here we can see what has occurred on this computer. So there are some images here. These are the demo images we use. They contain no illicit material or anything that's just tagged and used for demo purposes. The normal workflow here would be to contact the police authority to get confirmation and suggestions on how to proceed in each case. And by selecting these, we can have prepared some formats that the police normally required. Either it's a simple format which only include the hashes that the police then can verify and suggest on how to proceed with, or you can also get the more detailed information, which we will see in the next view. By going into the details tab, we can get a better overview of the time when the incident occurred on the system. We will never get to see the actual image here. We will only see the calculated hash values for it. We try to extract as much information as well from the system. And typically important things are the computer name and the user that try to access the file. We can also see what users that have been logged into a system, and this can preferably be used as cross-referenced with other systems in your IT environment to get a better view of what the user has been up to in the close proximity to when the incident occurred. This data is also available through a webhook, which you then can automate these flows, and you won't have to manually do the cross-reference. You can send the data to other IT systems and let them do the cross-reference and watch the incident in data in those systems instead. You can also get a look at the files surrounding the found CSAM incident. Since we only detect known images, there usually resides some files nearby to it if they, for example, download a zip file containing lots of images. And some of them are unknown to us. We will then find these images and well and extract the metadata from them. As you can see here, some of them also has used the technology of PhotoDNA to calculate if they're a match against a similar match with PhotoDNA in our systems. Well, this concludes the demo, and I think we will go back to Daniel for some final roundup.
Thanks, Thomas. And maybe Penny, was there any questions so far in the chat?
Yes, there is actually, Daniel. I've got a couple of questions that have come through. The first one is, what happens when an incident occurs?
Yeah, that is actually a good question and a very common question when we speak to companies. Emma and Thomas touched on it. It's, I mean, what you basically need to do as a customer when an alarm is being triggered is that you need to send only the hash value. That's the first thing that law enforcement agencies will need to know, just the hash value, and then they can confirm that it is actually an illegal image or video, or maybe they will come with other recommendations. And we have recommended action plans that we can sort of provide with companies. And these are action plans that most companies actually use as a starting point when they sort of build their own action plans. And because there will be, of course, an external process with the law enforcement agencies, but also an internal one, since this will be an HR errand as well. I mean, if the police decides to proceed with this, they will most likely require more information, and then you can sort of export the whole incident report to them, and then they will take over from there, and most likely also hand this case over to the local police, local authorities that will take over the investigation and probably pick up the suspect and conduct house searches and similar. Hopefully that covers the question.
Yes, I think so. Thank you, Daniel. And then the other question that I have is, what information does the user receive from NetClean ProActive?
Yes, so Thomas actually showed this in the demo. So it was a computer name, its username, and it's also timestamps like date and time of the incident. Also file name and file size. Would you like to add some more? I have forgotten, Thomas.
No, that should be about it.
Okay,
maybe I can also add, since we speak about what will happen when an alarm is triggered, because I mean, in the beginning, companies might be a bit nervous and wonder what might happen, and we are then very happy that we have a lot of very good customers. We work with both small and large enterprises on a global basis. I think our biggest customer have installations in more than 100 countries, and they have more than 130,000 licenses, I think. And it is a very common step in a process that we set up reference calls with customers, so that that companies can listen to their stories and learn from their experiences. And even though many of our customers are competitors in one sense, they are, when it comes to this, very happy to share information and insights anyway. So that is a very valuable source of information for our the companies that we speak to, and our customers are more than happy to join these kind of reference calls, which is a good thing.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Okay, I think I just want to say thank you very much to Daniel, Emma and Thomas for sharing this information. I think we all want to do something to help with this, so really informative. If anybody does want any more information, then please reach out to NetClean themselves or us here at Somerford Associates on info@somerfordassociates.com. We'd be very happy to help and point you in the right direction to getting in contact with NetClean. So I think that's the end of the session. So thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you for the NetClean team, and I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.